Hey friends, hopefully this should work just automatically as that is the setting that I selected this evening.
Hey friend.
Oh, it worked! That's so mental. Like, that's never worked before in my life. Hi Tony, hi David. Lovely to see you all. I've got a little my plaster today as I finally pruned my roses and I pricked myself. Just like Sleeping Beauty, I have had a big week. It was my mum's funeral. Hello, Alex. Just showing off my wound from my pruning. Hello, it's Mole Mania. What a great name. Yeah, we had my mum's funeral this week. I read out her eulogy and almost made it through, but my dear friend Sam helped me out right at the end. And yeah, I feel proud of my family and my friends. And, so many people that loved her gathered there together. So that was really, really beautiful. Yeah. And my brain is like not okay, but I have been surrounded by love. So feeling very, very grateful for that. Alex says, rose pruning battle scars. Yes, and I have some special wooden-handed secateurs which I thought were fantastic. They've got like a spring. My friend Linda, who has a beautiful garden, told me about these secateurs. And then I saw Alex Sinclair has these Japanese blades that look, well, let's be fair, I should probably not have them because I would cut a finger off, but they looked insanely great. Hello, Aztec. Hello, Mark. Aloha. I love Aloha. I've been to Hawaii twice in my life. And one of my favourite places on earth is Kauai, which is called the Garden Island. I'm never going back to America ever again for obvious reasons. I'm scared. My lovely neighbour Helen sorted my hair out. So for the day of mum's service, it was really beautiful. And you can see it's lying a lot flatter. So I didn't have like a Rick and Morty style haircut. One exciting development that I've noticed is, I'll show you all. Yeah, if I lift up my hair on this side, I can see all that this lovely grey colour's coming through, which I'm actually kind of excited about. I no longer dye my hair. I haven't dyed it for years, so I'm embracing the grey. Maybe I'll finally get some more respect. Yeah, lots of grey going on there now. So, oh, don't apologise for being late, Mark. I started the whole stream late. So we have, as usual, our dear friend, Mr. Pugh, keeping us safe. He's still good. I keep thinking we probably need to get him checked. This extinguisher should be serviced at least once a year. So we probably should get him serviced. But the other thing is I would quite like to get not a powder one, a CO2 one, maybe a water one, but I'm not sure they're very used in the chat. A Kirby says straightened. So I don't know if it was straightened. It's like a keratin smoothing treatment, not ketamine, as I mistakenly thought it was. But it does look, I mean, if you wash it, it still does its normal natural curly thing. But when I blow dry it, it's a lot flatter and smoother. Looks so shiny, even with all my greys. So thanks for coming to my hair channel. Welcome, Kirby. Will that make you a grey knight going forward? I don't know. I don't know enough about the grey knights. The only time I saw about the grey knights was in Hell's Reach. So not sure. For those of you who were attracted by the thumbnail, this is a beautiful Visions of Heresy book. Who gave me this? I've got a feeling it was Historitus Jamaldus who gave me Visions of Heresy. And I think that's probably why I've been looking at lots of sanguineous pictures. This is just book one, Iconic Images of Betrayal and War. So it's absolutely glorious. Mira's been on the John Frieda. Indeed I have. There's a whole section on Istvan 3. So some of you will remember this as the cover of Galaxy in Flames. Phil says, I've got that book. It's bloody awesome. Oh no, Kirby, has anybody else lost sound? Please do let me know. Oh, Kirby, it was you. Look at you causing havoc over here. There's a beautiful Lehman Russ. Look at him. Look at that wolf right over his crotch. What's that about? Not a fan of that, I have to say. We've got beautiful Prospero Burns cover. Neil Roberts is so talented, isn't he? I don't know where my Sanguinius is. The thing is, I have to be careful not to read too much into this book because there are spoilers. Yeah, I have to be careful not to go too far. It's his sporran. It says sporran. Oh, this is cool. There's a whole section on terror, which is quite exciting. Do you know? So probably most of the... Oh, and of course, one of my favourites. Deliverance Lost. We love a bit of Raven Guard, don't we? Yeah. So that is the book I'm holding up in the thumbnail for this. I'm still trying to get back into the flow of life. The other thing that I have here is my... So this is my Mira manga. When we were working on the book, we were printing with mock-ups of what it would look like. And I worked with a guy called Alex, who I've worked with on 28 Mag. If any of you read 28, the hobby mag, I was an editor of 28 for a really long time and I loved it. I learned so much about 28, including Turnip 28 and some fun slug games and stuff like this. So you can see our notes, we went through really carefully, editing. Yeah, so I love this note. What do we have for this space? But what we really truly have in this book is some absolutely stunning artwork. Working with Mike Francina. I mean, obviously the hellscape that is Trench Crusade is very much his vision. So I really love this book because it represents a really hardcore year of my life. Mum was sick, but every evening I'd come home and 6, 7 p.m. to midnight, I would just be working on Trench Crusade. And it was so horrible that it managed to help me lift me out of, scared, sad feelings. And you can get completely lost in this world. Yeah, it's glorious. I actually have a map. The Trench Crusade map is truly epic, and I have a poster size of it upstairs. This isn't even the gross stuff. I'm going easy on you all. My channel is very PG-13, isn't it? It's so cool. Hello, Haribo. Yeah, I still don't have my copy yet. I'm so gutted. But too much. The whole book could say that. So yeah. So we could have a little chat. We could have some poetry. Of course we're going to have poetry. We could try and play some fighting fantasy. We could talk about books. Because we have no plans this evening. I'm just so happy to see my friends on a Sunday night. It's so lovely to see you all. No free copy. Yes, Philip, we do get a free copy for working on it, but we want it to deliver to our Kickstarter people, our backers first, right? So I think we will get ours at the very back end. Maple PSMR. Maple Pie ASMR. Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. I'm so excited that you finally managed to join alive. I'll have to try and speak a little bit more quietly. Hello, Sean. G'day, mate. How's it going down there? And Well Inspector says chuck some booms. Should we do some fighting fantasy? How is Maple Pie? OMG. Is that what you do on your channel, Maple? We could do some. Should we do some Trench Crusade? AMSR. Let's see. I shall read something delightful out. Let me find something gross for you all. There's quite a lot of gross things to be found. Where do you live, Maple Pie, that there is a snowstorm? Look, so cool. Amazing. I love this stuff. I do trading card and collectible. So you do Pokemon AMSR? What the heck? What the heck? Okay. Horrible. I mean, this is going to make my channel PG-13. I want to read out the choristers, which are so gross. Okay, we'll just read out a little bit about the Yoke Fiends. We'll do a little bit of ASMR. Historiator Jamaldus says, I'm reading the stories that lead up to Ghost Legion, the soon coming Mike Brooks Alpha Legion novel. Gosh, he's all over the different legions. Okay. This is Yoke Fiends from Trench Crusade. Yoke Fiends are the wretched stillbirths of cursed devils, the legacy of 1,000 generations, growing ever more debased and feeble, crossbred with beasts of the field by the sadistic infernal bio-priests. These creatures are twisted by their profane ancestry, adorned with the horns and hooves of livestock and dense ape-like limbs of brute strength. Ugh, horrible. Horrible. We could do a bit of fighting fantasy for 10-15 minutes. I think that would be safer than Trench Crusade. That would be a lot safer than Trench Crusade AMSR. I think. What do we all think? Let's see if I can make my screens work firstly. Also, I'm feeling a little bit dizzy tonight. I'm feeling very run down and tired, which I think is completely normal for anybody who's been through a lot of grief and loss and stress. But yeah, really feeling sore throaty, tired, all the things. But dizziness is kind of bizarre. I've not had the dizziness going on before. Okay. Let's see how that is. Danny Baker says, do you have a favourite bit of Warhammer art? Or from any other franchise? What a lovely question, Danny Baker. At the moment, I really love the Korax artwork because I have a crush on Korax. And in Trench Crusade, I think the Artillery Witch is one of my favourite pieces of artwork. Aztec, I found Trench Crusade and that John Blanche Chaos art book were too disturbing. Aztec, so did I, and I was working on it. Aztec, you're not green anymore. Oh dear. I'm used to seeing you green and membered up. Okay, so what were we playing? Temple of Terror we've done? Citadel was long ago. City of Thieves, Scorpion Swamp. Can anyone remind me what book we're on? I've lost my mind. I have to blame it on grief brain, I'm afraid. Was it Scorpion Swamp? Maybe they released this. We haven't, was it Forest of Doom? We of Yo see the Poomster in Scorpion Swamp. Kirby says, I briefly met Dan the other day. He's a really nice guy. I got a few books signed. I was in a queue for 2 hours. Oh, he's so worth those hours, isn't he? I'm so glad that you got to see him. He's one of my favourite humans. I haven't reached out to him for a while, but I'm hoping we get to talk really soon. Maple PI says, happy to be here with you tonight. Your videos with Ian bring me so much joy. Sending some love your way. Me too. I think Ian is like way less emotional than me, but he is a very good friend to have because he has, when you're with Ian, it's just, he's so capable. You feel like Ian's got this, and yeah, he's very practical in every sense. So when I wrote him having a worry, he was like, oh no, should we talk about some books? And yeah, I feel very lucky that Ian and I are friends. I was a bit of a brat when we met. And I was really quite rude to him sometimes. So I'm very glad that we were friends now. Lord Emperor Rowan says, I've just finished the second book in the Night Lord trilogy in anticipation for book club. It was so good, and Uzas may be my favourite out of First Claw. I need to find my book 2 and 3 because I was gifted them and I have them somewhere, but I don't know where they are. Pigeon says, having grown up on Blanche artwork, I became kind of immune to any shock element of it, and I love the style. Yeah, I think once you read Warhammer and you don't take it to bed tonight as a nightmare, you can really enjoy it. Hello to Well Inspector's daughter, welcome. You have a mini well inspector, so we have to find a mini well for her to climb down in. Let's see where we are in our Scorpion Swamp. You see that you are approaching the spot where you first met the brigands. We did part from them in friendship. There are 2 brigands resting in the clearing, which seems to be their meeting place. Recognizing you, they smile and wave. You call a greeting and pass by. Okay, so who can remember which way we went last time? Let's have a look at the map. Okay, where are we? Oh, fireworks. Fireworks going on outside, people. I'm not sure why. I have no idea where we are. Gosh, this is quite the map. I can't make it any smaller. Gosh. Okay, that map's not going to help us. Let's try going east. Is a mini well a puddle? Says Philip. I think so, Philip. We'll call it that. Maple Pie says, you mean I shouldn't listen to Warhammer crime novels before bed? Maybe that's where the nightmares come from. I mean, Warhammer crime is the very least nightmarish material if we're gonna have a rating of that. Oh, Ben J. Rosso. Hi Mira, I wish you all the best with the grief. Your book clubs with Ian was a huge help to me in a bad moment, so thank you. Well, the healing works both ways because the book club saved my life. Kirby says, if you like Corax, you need to listen to the audio drama Raven's Flight. It's great. Listen to it many times. Funny you should say that. Yeah. I'm just looking in one of my many cardboard boxes. I think I've got that CD somewhere. It's not to hand. These things never are they? They never are when we're discussing them. Tony says, you start off inspecting buckets at the academy before graduating to Wells. And Capri says, I have a note saying the ranger said to go south and west, but given the options here, I think that was some time ago. I agree. What's our knowledge? Map out. I'm now a handsome dwarf. Skill -1. Did we get turned into a dwarf? I completely forgot that. Let's go east and see what happens. And we're called Cuthbert. I'd forgotten that also. You are in a particularly marshy area. Oh no, I think we've been here before. This is the place where you met the slime. We did kill it. Oh, we didn't. What will you do this time? Run away, try to jump over it, attack it with your sword, or use a magic spell. What will we do? And does anybody remember us being here last time and what happened then? Answers on a postcard. I'm just going to see if I've got any chocolate down the other end of the table. That would be lovely. Ugh. It's a very long table and there isn't any chocolate. So these are my 2 Night Hunter books that I've got. So I've got Void Stalker and the first one. Is this the second or the third? So somewhere in my flat is Blood Reaver and I need to find that, and then I can continue my Night Lords trilogy. Maybe that'll be my mission for this week, find Blood Reaver. Happy says, but we're a handsome dwarf, I call that a win. Pigeon says, I'm sure we saved at this point. Caprice pays to I guess that's the Omnisire for Mira chocolate. Philip says, I can't remember, but attack with sword is always my default answer. Haribo says, not a clue, it's faded into distant memory. Tony, no idea, barely remember what I had for lunch. Okay, I do know where there's chocolate. Okay, I feel like I'm going to cry, which is why I need stuffed chocolate in my face. So I've got these pink Marc de Champagne truffles. And I've got these Fortnum & Mason milk and dark truffles. Really, I don't normally eat these. They're given to me over Christmas. And they're too posh. They're so posh, I don't really enjoy them, if you know what I mean. I'm not a big dark chocolate fan. But sometimes when I feel emotions coming up, it just helps to put chocolate in my mouth. Let's try jumping over it. We'll roll 2 dice. We've jumped over it. You leave the clearing as quickly as possible. So we just came from the east, so we better go north. The path widens into a familiar clearing where you met the will-o'-the-wisp. You decide to avoid the murky and overgrown path this time. Well, if we go south, we'll be back with the slime, so we'll head east. You find yourself at a crossing of paths. Which way will you go? So I guess up to the ranger, or else we'll be back in this mess again. Or we can go to see the lone wolf. So what will we do, people? North, south, east or west? Please can you all help? I have no idea what's going on. My brain is bad. I'm tired. I want to cry. I'm having some chocolate. You lot decide which way we're going. That's very good. Tony said, must be Jaffa cakes about. Believe it or not, Tony, Since our massive Jaffa Cake marathon, I have not eaten any since then because I think I ended up having about 32 in a day, which is a lot of fun, but maybe need to wait to repeat that. Philip says, Lord of the Rings taught me dwarves can't jump. David only got shortbread, no chocolate in the house. Sad times, David. Capri says, dwarves can't, but Mira can. Philip says, Peter Jackson lied to me. Tony says, we jump because I remember making a Van Halen joke. Pigeon says north. Caprice says south and then east. Mark says north. Well, Will says south. Caprice said no, west. Caprice says, Ranger said south then west. I'm sticking with that. Will says all the suggestions cancel out. Oh no! Let's try north. Let's try north and see what happens. I'll stick a bookmark in. Oh, we've entered a familiar clearing. Okay, so we've got a new path to go to directionally. So we don't want to go south. So let's go east. Oh, a new place, a new place. Thank goodness. The Jaffa Cake Massacre, the horror. I got quite a lot of money for that. That was brilliant. Okay. Bograt says, east of the sun and west of the moon. Oh, I love that. That's so poetic. Don't worry, we'll be getting on to the poetry section of the evening in around 12 minutes. Happy's back from Portsmouth. And the kitties have colonized your bed. And you don't have to administer cat medicine. I'd say that's a winning Sunday, Haribo. The eastward path is well tended. The trees and bushes do not grow across the trail, but are trimmed back. Before long, you reach a pleasant clearing. Everywhere, different sorts of plants are growing. Some are flowering, and they all look healthy and attractive. The entire glade looks too beautiful to be natural and too natural to be a garden. As you look around, a middle-aged man approaches you. He's tall and broad-shouldered and he wears work-stained clothes. But you know from the silver flower amulet around his neck that he's no labourer, but master of gardens. Your brass ring tells you that he is friendly. We all know who we are serving, not Celator or Grimslade. We are serving Poomchucker. Gasps at Garden Master. Philip says, is that what Alex looks like? No, but he should. I hope Alex is given some robes and a bonsai tree. But yeah. So, confident that the Master of Gardens is a friend, you tell him your business. He wishes you well but can do little to help you. That's a shame. He leads you around his glade and you see that the only path out is the one that brought you there. You take your leave of the Master of Gardens and go back to the west. Oh gosh. Oh no, I don't want to go here. I want to go back to the map. So we're back to the Ranger, which is going to send us back to these crossroads. So I think we need to try south this time. And then let's go south again. Oh, we've returned yet again to somewhere we've been before. This is really frustrating, isn't it? Do you know who we need? We need Neil. Okay. I have a feeling we might be clicking around, wandering around for a really long time, folks. I'm just wondering what we should do. The brass ring is handy, yes. As adventurers, we are wearing a brass ring that tells us if the NPCs we meet are friendly or evil. Yana says, that is the face of a man that has just vanquished a greenfly infestation. I agree. Yeah, I just pruned all my beautiful roses, and as I was pruning them, I was thinking, how many times did I treat you for greenfly? And then we had spider mites, and the only thing I could find to get rid of spider mites is this very heavy essential oil spray that has completely gummed up all the glass on my balcony. Oh, roses, they're like having children. Do you have a Neil signal light like Batman has? I don't. I'll have to try and contact him through Discord. Shall we climb up and have a look at this nest? Test our luck. We are lucky. You reach the nest safely. Looped about one of the branches, you find a heavy gold chain. Let's take the gold chain. You climb back down to the ground, and we now have a choice of 3 paths. Okay. So, eagle's nest. It looks like we've gone never eat shredded wheat. South and west from here previously. So what are our choices now? East could be new. Oh no, you enter a familiar clearing surrounded in trees covered in ivy. You realise you are in a clearing with a pool of quicksand. That doesn't seem fair. We come from the eagle's nest to the quicksand? We don't have either of those spells. Should we try and jump across or take a turn? Jen says, I'm here. I love that the first thing I noticed was that Haribo was in my neck of the woods almost. Yes, I think, Jen, are you Southampton way? Bloody scorpions, says Happy. Eagle's nest, not to be confused with a beagle's nest. East. Okay, let's try another path. Maybe we just need to try and jump across the quicksand. Let's try and jump. You once again come across the giant's half-meter boot print. Oh gosh, we're going to be here forever. Okay, so this looks like we went either north and south. So potentially we could go another direction from here. I love it. Sean says, this is like an outdoor version of House of Horror. The doors, the doors. I know, mate. This is really stressful. Happy Haribo has crossed the Fareham curtain, and that's all I'm going to say on that. Will says, at least there aren't any keys here. I agree. Let's try going west. You find yourself at a crossing of paths. No. This is so stressful. Right. So. Okay, what the blinking heck is going on? Well, we're only going to play this game for 5 more minutes, and in the interim, I will try and find a map, so the next time we play, we can cheat. I don't know why I keep opening the bookmarks table. I'm very confused. Okay, let's try going east. Oh. Go back to the crossroads. Back at the ranger's place. What the heck? Oh, Lord. Oh, you can see the wide Foulbridge River and we're on a bridge. Does this look new? No. Glory be. There's more paths here than an Elder Webway. I like that, Jen. Hello, Stuart. Welcome to the chat. It's so lovely to see you again. Philip says, go west and see if we can go north. I don't know when Philip said that. Let's go on the bridge. Back in the eagle clearing. Back at a crossroads again. Oh, I'm really despairing. This is actually doing my head in. Go west where the skies are blue. It's going to flash through everything. Okay. Let's try and burn some slime. I'm just going to attack it. I'm just going to fight the slime. For those of us new to the channel, we do cheat quite a lot in this game. There are 40 people watching this evening. Thank you so much for joining. This is a bit of a shit show tonight. Sorry to swear, but we're wandering around completely lost in Scorpion Swamp. And I'm just fighting a slime. So you, the viewers, get to see some action outside of me nomming a not very nice dark chocolate cocoa truffle with nibs on it. We're trying to give value for money here. Which is actually, this is free, unless you would like to take up a Mirror Manga YouTube membership. Yes, you can be a Mirror Manga Grimdark buddy. Please consider buying yourself a YouTube membership or gifting a YouTube membership to your friends. Whew. Is that okay? Just looking at my imaginary mentor. Maybe if we kill the slime, we get to move a different way. I don't know. The slime has been covering a trapdoor. The slime is dead. Its remains melt and putrefy while you are watching. The smell is unbearable. Oh my lord, there's nothing, no new trapdoors. Tony says, cheat never, alter luck. I like that. Stuart says, hello Mira and all. Hello Stuart. Yana says, hopefully Magnus won't F things up for you by trying to send a psychic DM. Jen says, I love the Horus Heresy book so much. I have 2 different versions of it. Oh, what's your favourite page, Jen? Will Inspector says D. I think that's D for daughter. Capri says slime time sublime. Tony says, when in doubt, it. Jen says, we don't cheat. Mira gets it right first every time. Oh, Raging is in the chat. Hello, Raging. Look at you lurking. Oh, thank you so, so much. Lorna Lavalin, Skeptical Pom, Lorgar Forever. Oh my gosh, is that your username? Lorgar Forever? Think about your choices. Ryback to the Future and Cole Billington, congratulations. You've been given a Mirror Manga YouTube Buddies membership. Thank you so much, Raging. That's very, very kind. Thank you so much. See, I am supposed to mention my memberships 3 times per stream, but I feel very shy and embarrassed. So thank you so, so much for doing that. Yay, welcome new members. You get access to ad-free interviews and early access. And at the moment, you get access to a whole series of my thoughts on short stories from Markov Kauf from the Horus Heresy. Ruby Poovy says, good eve. I've been binging through book club and author interviews in the last couple of weeks. Yay! Your content and the stuff together with Ian has been very wholesome and calming. Yes, it calms me too. I love Ian so much. Sean says, amazing Raging Horn. Thank you, Sean. Alex says, don't you open that trap door, because there's something down there. Philip says, to be fair, it's not Erebus forever. Yep, Lorgar forever. Yes. Should we ban anyone who has Erebus in their name? No. maybe Erebus can be redeemed in Warhammer 50k. The fight for, I don't know, something. When the Necrons have become allies with the Imperium. I don't know. Right. I think the trail winds about, but you keep to it faithfully. You skirt a familiar shell fungus and something this tiny creature's still dining on it. We're back at the very spot we started, which seems like a good place to call it a day and head into our poetry section of the evening. Those of you who are new to the stream, I'm so delighted to introduce you all to our poetry section. Pretty much started by the fabulous Tony Holton. I began reading bits of poetry. Tony is also keen on poetry. We now read poetry. So, yay! So let me catch up with the chat and then we'll get into our poetry. Jen says, I'm not sure what my favourite page is. I'll get back to you on that. Also, if I include my access to Warhammer Vault, technically I have 3 copies. I might have a problem. We love your problem, Jen. Most of us have similar Warhammer problems. Raging says, listening in while playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, taking my mind off a wee op on Wednesday. What character are you playing in Assassin's Creed? Can you choose a character? And what's your op on Wednesday? Sending you lots and lots of healing potions and good vibes, Raging. Take good care of yourself. Tony says, what magic happens if you mention subscription 3 times? Who does it summon? Well, what you're supposed to do for the algorithm and for viewers is to mention to like and subscribe 3 times in every stream. And you're meant to mention YouTube memberships 3 times in every stream. So you should say something like, hey, welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you're watching us chatting, please make sure that you do a like and ding that bell and subscribe. And the other thing you're supposed to do is say what I said about the memberships. Hello, Steve. Lovely to see you in the chat, Minis and Muscles. Steve is my friend. We both work for the Game Therapy UK charity together. And Steve also does painting live streams on Friday nights. Gal Miraz, I'm late for a very important date. Gal Miraz is never late. They always arrive on time, whatever they say about Gandalf. Ruby Poovy says, I particularly enjoy your bespoke musical intros to the interviews. They're so good. I need an album or a supercut of those. I actually stopped doing them because they were delaying me putting out videos and I was working and caring and it all got a bit much, but I love my singing intros. I do worry a bit. My friend Louis Humanoid, who allows me to sing on them, has now become quite big and I just need to check in that it's still okay to sing those and use them for free. But if enough people like the theme songs, I'll keep singing them. I think I lost a lot of viewers maybe who might have just heard the song and been like, out, no, I'm out, peace out, goodbye. Thank you for the compliment as well. I'm really appreciative of everyone saying lovely things. Ian is the best. He's a great wizard. Philip says, you've got a better chance of redeeming a chaos god than Erebus. Yeah, Sean says, I hope your operation goes smoothly, Raging. Yana says, Trazen's amazing. Yes, The Infinite and the Divine was one of the first books I read, which has got lots of Trazen in it. Raging says, getting the gallbladder out and playing the lassie who's a shinobi, but I've just opened the Black Samurai character. I can't remember their names, though. My mum had a gallbladder, but because she was too old, unfortunately, they couldn't remove it. And I think that's a big part of why we lost her in the end. She had to have a drain. But I do know that if you're young, that gallbladder, most of the gallbladder operations are very, very standard, bog standard, easy to do. And yeah, the youth, people who are not, elderly, they're very life-changing. And so, yeah, best of luck, Raging. I'm so happy you're getting the medical attention you need. Did anybody spot the author who accidentally spoiled an upcoming celebration model in a book foreword? Admittedly, Games Workshop should have been aware the book was coming out first. No idea what you're talking about. Stuart Thorpe says, we just need to ask Mira 3 times to talk about liking, subscribing and memberships. Believe it or not, I do get messages from my mentors who sometimes watch the live streams and are like, you haven't mentioned memberships, You need to ask people to like and subscribe. And yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. Neo is the shinobi. Yasuke is the samurai. Galmaraz says, your music is awesome. Sing all you want. Thank you. I do love to sing. Michael Lane, Monkey Wrench. The songs are always a fun touch. Bar to the haters. Raging, I'm nearly 49 going on 89. Well, age is a choice, right? It's not, but you're only as young as the books you read. So we are all 18 plus warnings for body horror and reattached severed heads and icky harvesting of gene seeds. Yunners, I actually read The Infinite and the Divine after yours and Ian's review. No regrets, instant Necron body cop fan. Fantastic. Happy Haribo's mate has just saved the gravy. What an excellent housemate. Jen is spilling the tea in the chat. If you don't want a spoiler, don't look in the chat right now. So let us continue with our readings from The Orange by Wendy Cope. So this poem we're going to read by Wendy Cope from The Orange and Other Poems is Men Talking. Anecdotes and jokes, on and on and on. If you're with several blokes, it's anecdotes and jokes. If you were to die of boredom there and then, they'd notice by and by, if you were to die. But it could take a while, they're having so much fun. You neither speak nor smile. It could take a while. How funny. Men talking. Very good. Thank you so much, Wendy. Where is my friend Matt's book? Have I put it somewhere so safe? So safe it's not usable. I really am my own worst enemy. The only mentor looking over your shoulder should be Ensign Crusher. The lovely Will Wheaton. Oh, I went to see a live version of, I don't know if any of you are Will Wheaton, Wesley Crusher fans. You might know that he used to be on a YouTube channel called Geek and Sundry, and he did a tabletop review game show. And he's friends with Felicia Day, who was in Dollhouse and Buffy. And Felicia Day wrote a web series called The Guild. So last week I had tickets to see her performing a musical version of The Guild, which was really good. And if you haven't watched The Guild web series, I suggest looking it up. Gal Maraz, I saw a wonderful performance you did on YouTube. Bravo. Thank you. I'm not sure what that's about. So we will now read a poem from Staying Human. We're reading these in the wrong order, but hey ho. Look at my beautiful bookmark. So pretty. This is a poem called Life and Other Terms by Janet Fisher. Life and Other Terms. I split autumn perennials, layer rhododendrons for spring, lashed by winds, lacking even good bones against the virtues of age. With full hands I pull at heels of rosemary, lad's love sweet and sad, bitter, rue and yarrow. Geraniums on the patio turned out like children to get the sun. The faint green of old bottles wait for something to be done with them. And I see living's a job like any other, that there are no true and perfect implements to trim the edges, only working usages, like knives. Lovely. So that's Life and Other Terms. We will then go on to Being Alive in the same series. And this is the MM bookmark. So this poem is called St. Francis and the Sow by Galway Kinnell. We are getting to peak poems now, aren't we? We're doing about 10 a night. We're not really. We're doing about 5 or 6. If it's too many poems, please let me know in the chat. We can limit our poems, even though it will make Tony and I sad. St. Francis and the Sow. The bud stands for all things, even for those things that don't flower. for everything flowers from within, of self-blessing. Though sometimes it's necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness, to put a hand on its brow of the flower and retell it in words and in touch. It is lovely until it flowers again from within, of self-blessing. As St. Francis put his hand on the creased forehead of the sow and told her in words and touch, blessing of earth on the sow. And the sow began remembering all the way down her thick length from the earthen snout, all the way through the fodder and slops to the spiritual curl of the tail, from the hard spininess spiked out from the spine, down through the great broken heart, to the sheer blue milk and dreaminess spurting and shuddering, from the 14 teeth into the 14 mouths sucking and blowing beneath them, the long perfect loveliness of sow. Oh, that's very cute. The beauty of a sow. I'm going to keep going on the old poems. Where the hecky thump have I put Matt's book? It's so frustrating. Essential poems. The cream of the crop. And this is a Chloris postcard. This is my soon-to-be sponsor, Chloris Books. So you'll be hearing a lot more about Chloris, who has asked if he can sponsor the channel, which is very exciting. Being my first ever sponsor. One of my favourite poems, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Plenty of you should probably know about this poem. The road not taken. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Wow. Crikey, I just felt this massive swell of emotions. What a fabulous poem. Everyone should know that. We all get that one at school if you live in the UK. Do I still have the teeny poetry capsules? That's a really good shout. I do. Let's do one of these. This will be our last one of the evening. And we can have the golden pill or the green pill. You decide, children of the channel. And that will be our last poem of the evening, because Robert Frost nearly made me cry. Wowie zowie. Wowie zowie indeed, Sean. Hello, Grey Primer, aka Nick. He of the amazing dioramas. Let's just head back up the chat while I see what we're going to pick, the green or the gold pill. Tabletop was brilliant, as was the guild, says Michael Lane Monkey Wrench. Tony says, oh yes, Geek and Sundry Tabletop. Stuart Thorpe says, Geek and Sundry, yes, I was sad when that series ended, and I used to keep up with the guild too. Yana says, I remember when Will Wheaton was on the Acquisitions Incorporated team. He was great in those. Pigeon Smith says, she was a great singer in Dr. Horrible. Hope the guild musical was great. I enjoyed it back in the day. Jen says, I love that Wesley's come back a handful of times in Modern Trek. Yes, he is the Traveller now. He popped up in Picard, I think. Galmaraz says, it was a band. Yep. Do you still have a team? Yeah, we do. Super Green. Caprice and Happy Haribo saying green. Sean saying gold as the Emperor. Pigeon saying gold. Olympics week and all. Grey saying green. Tony saying golden. Alex is saying green for the spring leaves to come. We're having 2 poems, people. So, open the capsule. Look how lovely my nails are, by the way. I sorted these out because I wanted to look perfect for when I said goodbye to Mum. and I knew she'd be really happy because I turned out looking so respectable. So here is our golden pill poem. Success isn't the result of spontaneous combustion. You must set yourself on fire. By Arnold H. Glasow. Carpe diem. That's lovely. The outcome we all wanted, really, says Pigeon. Really, I'm trimming the poems down. We normally have another poem from that other book, but I'm so nervous. People are like, get off. You know, there'll be a big stick with a hook to come to yank me to the left. So I'm just trying to limit poem consumption in case people are sick of it. So I'll pop that one back in there. And then the Matrix poetry, choose a pill. We'll go for green next. Oh, that's like putting the cracker. I put the wrong side down. Here we go. There we go. This is the right way. Oh. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up, by Vince Lombardi. I feel I know about this one. I feel I'm like a Mr. What are those toys, you know, that they just keep, you know, they wobble about. They fall over and they wobble back up. I feel like one of those. So that's very lovely as well. Hello, Stalls. I wonder if that name is meant to read like stalled, like, you know, when a car has stalled. Welcome to the channel, Stalled. Oh, I'm so sorry to see you're grey, but lovely, lovely to have you here. Also, Jen is in the chat. Shout out to one of Jen's books, The Enigma Secret by our very own Jen Graham, who is an author. She's a very clever girl, authoring books about fairies and sci-fi. Let's read a poem by my friend Matthew Gregory. The last poem we read was set in Paris. So this is from Matt's book, The Scenic World, a room at the Grand Hotel de Rocher Noir, 1971. Madam likes to air the double she takes for 8 weeks on the sea-facing East Wing. She's written 12 postcards to Brussels in a month. Her tone, La mer est jolie, is light and blasé, though she counts 6 instances of the word ténébré. Arthritis has touched her best hand. Outside, the sea glances her way with distance, where once everything in the world was a man asking her to dance. On one shelf, in ribbons, her empty hat box deepens into deeper hat boxes that collapse slowly into the green Pinochle halls of the Pinochle men she knew. Madame dreams in the window chair and sees her postcards from the Roche Noir fly lightly down over the swathe of sea from the undercarriage of an albatross. The ocean bird migrating, but so everything seems at this point. The cad with a tall white grin throwing double sixes at midnight, fresh oysters with their slight cologne in the back seats of young France. The concierge is calling her, Madame, Madame. An old albatross, the scuffed white of lobby magazines. An old albatross, but content as she wanders off the edge of a continent. Oh, Matthew. Clever boy, proper poet, will not be watching our channel. Believe me. Okay, I'm so sorry. This is a feast of friends, a feast for the gods. I offer another poem. Staying alive. Okay. What is this one? This is this. Bookmark. I also have my note from Pigeon in here. Pigeon also sent me some blooming tea. I don't know if you checked out my latest reel on Instagram, but thank you for the blooming tea, Pigeon. Okay, so I think the next poem we're reading in this one is called Happiness. That's a lovely one to finish on. Happiness by Raymond Carver. Happiness. So early, it's still almost dark out. I'm near the window with coffee and the usual early morning stuff that passes for thought when I see the boy and his friend walking up the road to deliver the newspapers. They wear caps and sweaters, and one boy has a bag over his shoulder. They're so happy. They aren't saying anything, these boys. I think if they could, they would take each other's arm. It's early in the morning, and they are doing this thing together. They come on slowly. The sky is taking on light, though the moon still hangs pale over the water. Such beauty that for a minute death and ambition, even love, doesn't enter into this. Happiness. It comes on unexpectedly and goes beyond really any early morning talk about it. Oh, I nearly went then. Raymond Carver, thank you for that beautiful poem from Happiness. So how many poems is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 poems this evening. That's a record. And we had 5 Mirrormanga YouTube, 5, not 10, 5 Mirrormanga YouTube memberships. We have 39 people on the stream watching with us. Thank you all so much for your amazing support. Let's finish up in the chat before we head off into the night. And shout out to Robbie wherever you may be. Weebles wobble. Yes, Tony, I'm a weeble. Zero cool. Oh my God, the loveliest message. I don't get to enjoy poetry very often, so I am enjoying this. You're doing great. Yay! I'll tell you all a secret. I'll tell you a secret in MSR. I'm starting a new channel where we're going to do lots of poetry. So that's a secret. I don't think there's going to be a big Warhammer Venn diagram, but there will be a poetry channel for people who like daily poetry. Rudy can't fail. That's uncanny. The first one was almost a Smash Mouth lyric, and now that was definitely Chumbawamba. I'm liking your 19th references. Yunners, give a man a fire and he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for life. Fantastic, fantastic Terry Pratchett quote. Love that. Yes, I haven't read Jingo for ages. Tony says, gonna have to change my name to Poetic Tones. I love that, Tony. Stuart Thorpe, get knocked down, get up again. Isn't that from a Chumbawamba song? Yana says, tub thumping, yep. Back in 1977. Haribo says, there used to be a band called the Pigeon Detectives. They did, didn't they? Yana says, were they pigeon cops? Or did they investigate pigeon-related crimes? The second one. Rudy says, request for next time, The Edge by Hunter Thompson. Fave poem. Oh, a request, Rudy, and a specific poem. Well, I'll tell you for what, Rudy. I'm going to write that down in my furry unicorn notebook. Oh, and Gal Miraz, thank you so much, Gal Miraz. You have gifted Azrael FM a gift membership. Thank you so, so much. That's so beautifully and lovely of you, as you already have your own membership. That is much appreciated, Gal Miraz. So I'm just going to make a note on my unicorn pen. Chase a rainbow. Frolic majestically. Pose on a windy cliff. Graze on sprinkles. So I'll put a note. Poem. The Edge. Is it going to be an edgy poem with like rude stuff in it? Is it going to be like Bukowski? Because this is a PG-13 channel. Rudy can't fail. So I'll have a look, and it better be clean and not lewd, rude, or something I feel embarrassed to read out. I know a little of Hunter S. Thompson's prose, but I don't know his poetry. But I'm excited to find out he did do poetry. So thank you. Pigeon says, I'm not happy with the idea of pigeon-related crimes. What if the pigeons were the ones perpetrating the crimes? Pete, what do you reckon? Rudy says, nope, it's about motorcycles, which I know nothing about, but it's cool. Amazing. Gal Miraz says, Mira read one of Hunter's poems when I typed it in comments. Oh, good to know. Thank you. So I have read. I was lying. I apologise for lying there. Michael Lane says, poetry is woefully underappreciated. More is always better. I couldn't agree more. And yeah, I read a beautiful poem at Mum's funeral, which is the thing that made me break, actually. I got right to the end of that long eulogy and that poem made me cry. So my beautiful friend Sam came to finish up for me. So, Pigeon says no, the pigeons are not the ones committing the crime. And Happy, Haribo and Jen have realised they are friends on either side of the Fareham curtain. So that's good to know. Well, I will love you and leave you all for this evening. My Warhammer reading this week will be Mark of Calf. I'm finishing up the short stories. I just finished Void Scarred, which is so full of Eldar. I feel like Ian and I are going to have to talk for an hour about Eldar and Drukhari and craft worlds and elven gods. I'm so stoked. I'm so happy. And he suggested Void Scarred by Mike Brooks. So I've just finished that book. And then I'm going to look for my missing Night Lords book and try and read that too. Yes, Caprice, I know you are an elf. You've always been an elf. And Jen, yeah, definitely give dear old Happy a wave. But I am going to go to sleep. I have to go back to the real world, so sadly. But look out for some members streams on the Mark of Calf. I'm going to try and start streaming some games as well, because we were playing, weren't we playing Inquisitor on the PlayStation? So even though I'm not really mega into it because it's hard, we will continue playing that for the plot. And yeah. Historica Jamalda says, have you done recording for Honor Bound already? I think we have. I think that might be the next Ian and Mira video coming your way. Good night, Steve. Michael says bloody elves. Go ahead. You and Ian are being good company, Michael. Toodle Pipsky says Yanas. Tony says night or happy dreams. Jim, before you go, let's take a look at the Let's React playlist and pop some videos on there so we can do a Let's React stream soon. Let me know if you're happy with it. Oh, good night, Stuart Thorpe. Good night, Sean. Well, good morning to Sean. And yeah, everybody have a lovely, lovely week. Take care of yourselves. Hopefully we'll all see the sunshine. Take care, friends. Bye.